Well, hello today. This is Solutions Over Fiction. And today we're going to be talking about the media, the mainstream media. Well, of course, if you're a conservative, you know that the media doesn't report all the news. They report it on a one-sided bias, in a one-sided biased way. So when it comes down to that, talking about the media, this video is going to be called The Media Controls the Masses. Okay, so that's what it's going to be called. We look at the media, and we understand that they want to push a narrative. And the narrative is white people are evil, Christianity is bad, conservatism is, pretty much like Hitler, and all these things. So you turn on your TV, you watch CNN, you listen to people like Don Lemon or whatever, and those people, they have one narrative in mind, just like ABC, just like NBC, just like CBS. Their narrative is to take down Trump. Simple. Excuse me, but that's their narrative. It's to take down Trump. No other narrative, just to take down Trump. We look at the stories, okay? CNN has 93% negative reporting on President Trump. We look at other medias, theirs is about up there. Fox could be biased towards the left, and Fox could also be biased towards the right, also. But when we look at the media as a whole, their main goal is to take down Trump. Their main goal is to take down black people also. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why they want to take down Trump first. The main goal to take down Trump is because Trump is not a politician. Trump is not going to go for their BS. Trump is going to be a president that's going to be pro-America. And he's going to deny and reject globalism. And they don't like that. They don't like the idea of President Trump being that way. Now we look at, they're going to try to get rid of him, and they're going to try to get rid of the Republicans that don't agree with him. That's pretty much how it's going to go. But, the big but, because they attacked Trump, does that make them pro-black? And that's not really the reason. That doesn't make them pro-black. But the reason why they want to take down the black community, look at, if you be conservative, look how Kanye West was treated for being conservative. He was treated less than a human. They, freaking went crazy. How dare, he support Trump? He's black, he's automatically supposed to be Democrat. But the media comes out and they capitalize on white supremacy. Like 30 years ago or 20 years ago, whatever, you rarely turned on your TV and heard anything about white supremacy or racism. It was almost like the media was just, sort of bland or whatever. It was just kind of like boring or whatever. But nowadays, they have to push a narrative. And the narrative is, these white folks are racist towards you black folks. And you better not vote any other way. You better not think any other way. So that's the narrative that they're pushing. That's the narrative that they're pushing. And also, racism sells. The mass media, when they push the idea of racism, they get more clicks. They get more people watching their newscasts. Racism sells. Look at Colin Kaepernick. He went out there and took a knee, did that cowardly thing on the field or whatever. Oh, racial oppression. And my thing about the whole situation is this. He should have been going out here speaking with these police chiefs, writing up solutions, coming up with solutions for the problems to deal with those issues of police brutality. I acknowledge that, hey, you got some of that going on in this country, but I also acknowledge that the black community needs to be cleaned up as well. there needs to be solutions. They need to be writing something out, coming up with solutions to better deal with those problems. You know, that's just how I stand. Do I think that police are just shooting people down because they're black? No, I don't think so. Do I think that certain black people get shot by the police because they don't want to surrender and stuff like that? They try to put up a fight or whatever? Yes. But do I think that the police should get off if shooting a person like that? No, I don't think they should. No, I don't. No, I don't think they should be getting off. I don't. I have to think for a second, like, what am I saying? But yeah, I don't think they should be getting off. I just don't. I think they should be charged. If they wrongfully kill somebody, I don't care what color you are, they should be getting charged. They should not be getting off. But they should be coming up with solutions for all that. But the media controls the masses. The media wants for black America to be walking around here thinking that white supremacist people, everybody that's white is a white supremacist. That's what they want you to believe. They don't want you to be conservative. They don't want you to have a mind of your own. They don't want you to be capable of doing anything. They don't want that. And the media is, you know, is terrible. Because they never report black people in a good light. They always report us in a, you know, black people in a bad light. So they're not really the enemy of black people, although they try to come out against Trump, which he did prison reform and he had the lowest black unemployment due to the tax bill that he passed, due to his willingness to sit down and negotiate these trade agreements with Sprint, with the, you know, Ford, keeping them in Michigan, with Delta, with Amazon, with Apple. His willingness as a businessman to sit down and talk with those people to get something done. So he had tremendous success lowering the black unemployment. You know, doing prison reform and a whole bunch of other stuff, which was bipartisan. Which Van Jones, he went over there to the CPAC and he supported. And Van Jones was, you know, yeah, though the mob came after him. You know, you can't support Trump, you know. But Trump, he signed it, and that was a good thing. I mean, it took, you know, if Trump was just so much a racist or whatever, why would he do something like that? I mean, you go take that argument with David Duke or somebody. David Duke would have never did prison reform. David Duke would have never aimed to lower the black unemployment. David Duke would have never did any of that. David Duke would have just pushed, you know, tried to fight for white people, whatever. You know, and David Duke, you know, his behavior is unacceptable. I mean, but that goes to show you how certain people are raised, you know. I mean, but that's unacceptable, but that's his right of freedom of speech. You know, so that's kind of what it really comes down to. But they control the masses. They want for black people to be afraid of white people. That's what they want. You know, you know, I ask people like my mom and everyone else, who told you that, you know, black people couldn't get anywhere, you know, white people were more superior than them? And they'd be like, you know, I saw it on ABC, I saw it on NBC, I saw it on CBS, I saw it on the news last night. You know, and then like with the Russia thing, they pushed that narrative, they beat that dead horse until it couldn't, like, it's beyond dead. They push racism, they push white supremacy, they push all these narratives, oppression, black folks can't get anywhere, white privilege. You see all these points, talking points in the media, and they use those things to push their socialist agenda. The black community is really, in a way, of just people that just kind of being kind of going along with the games or whatever, while they work behind the scenes, depleting and killing off the black population with Planned Parenthood, and dividing the black family and telling the black woman, you don't need no man, and the black woman going along with it. You know, it's never all or nothing, you know, majority of them going along with it. And that's sad. But black America, at our most successful point in our business ownership, our home ownership, families together, the Black Wall Street, we were fairly conservative. You know, a Democrat black person, that was unheard of. Unheard of back then. But, you know, things, of course, changed dramatically. Nowadays, it's like a conservative black person is unheard of, you know. But, I don't know. But they just control the masses. They know that, you know, if Trump gets any support, if the Republican Party gets any support, it's over with for us. It's over with for the Democrat Party. It's over with for them. They know that. So they got to push the narrative that, hey, you know, everybody's racist. We have to push that narrative every night. Oh, you remember when Trump, see, he said the thing about the Charlottesville case? You know, when he said there was good people on both sides? Yeah, he was talking about them white supremacist people. And there was good people on both sides. I mean, unless you're living up under a rock, I mean, unless you're just sitting around here, don't got no brain of your own, yeah, you might just thought that there were just only white supremacist people out there. But there was patriotic Americans fighting to keep those statues up, and there was people that was un-American that was fighting to keep those take the statues down. So we get up into the logistics of it and we start to talk about it. We need to teach our children the history of Robert E. Lee, the history of Stonewall Jackson, so they won't go down that road anymore. The history is there for a reason, to teach our children not to go back down that road again. What they did was unacceptable. We need to be teaching our children, I don't care what color you are, white, black, or whatever, Hispanic or Native American, whatever you are, we need to be teaching our children to deny that. Deny it. We don't need to go down that road. Now, there's nothing wrong with celebrating the history of those people, you know, because they fought in the Civil War, whatever. But that's, in my book, about all. Those people, you know, the history there was unacceptable. It was very unacceptable. It was. It was very unacceptable. That's what it was. And we have to understand history. And understand that history is not perfect. This country went through a lot of imperfect things, but we have to become our very best. And the media is not out to push that narrative because it unites us. And they don't like that. They don't like to see white and black people working together. White and black people living together. They don't like that. They want to call white people the villain, white people the oppressors, white people everything. When it's really the Democrat white people, and it's the media, because the media never comes out and says, you know what, black people, you can do anything. You're capable. The Democrats come out, they talk about this voter identification crowd, talking about, oh, voter suppression or whatever. And when it comes down to it, it's like they're calling black people stupid because they're saying, you know, we're too stupid to bring an identification to vote. Do you not understand that they're calling you stupid, black people? Do you not understand it? I'm like, why don't they just come out and say all people are incapable of bringing identification? Why it must just be black folks? We're capable. Black folks are capable of doing everything that white people can and everything that anyone else can. We're capable. Until black people get that mindset, nothing ain't going to truly change for the black community. But the media controls the masses to want us to believe that white folks are against us or whatever, that we can't do anything on our own without the Democrats, and that, you know, the world is going to end in, 12 years and all those other bull crap. I mean, it's only so far that you can go in this charade. But they, you know, we're being used, of course, to push socialism. We're being used to push big government. And black people, they claim, I hate the government. The government is out to get me. I can't get no work because I'm black, and the government and racism, white supremacy, and this. But you never hear them talk about solutions. You never hear them talk about, okay, what are we going to do to solve these problems? You never hear them talk about that. And they make up, we as black people, me included, black conservative, we only make up 12% of the population because of their willingness not to research what the media is doing. The media supports Planned Parenthood as a woman's right when that's not a woman's right. It was designed to get rid of black people and kill black folks off. That woman, she talked about the Negro Project, talking about how she was going to be killing them off like weeds, talking about how she was going to exterminate and depopulate the Negro race. And these folks just sit around there and support that. And the only thing they can talk about is police brutality. But they don't want to talk about the black family. 75% of the fathers not in the black household. They don't want to talk about anything that's affecting their black community that leads to this wealth disparage between the whites and the blacks in this country. They don't want to talk about that. And that's really what's affecting black people. Black folks killing each other left and right. I'm a realist. I'm going to look at all the problems, including police brutality. I don't think that is major, but I think that the police should be fixed, and I think that the black community should be fixed so we can better deal with these problems and cut all this nonsense out about all this divide or whatever. That's where I stand as a black man, as a black conservative young man. And then you see, that's where I stand as a conservative. I'm different. We're black conservatives. We're far different than liberals. We don't look at the history of the country and say, oh, you know, that wasn't right. Okay, you know, we acknowledge it. And we say, no, we're going to become our very best. We're going to make this country great. And we're going to stand on the right side of history. And we're going to continue to move forward and push forward. We're going to be owning stuff. We're going to have our own businesses. We're going to do very great. And the thing is, we're not going to just, you know, walk around here looking at race or whatever, or looking at white people or whatever as the enemy. Because we're all human. We all have made mistakes. And the thing is, with the health situation, I'm not going to just look at them like that. You know, that's just not what I do. That's not where I stand or whatever. I mean, that's just how I look at it. I don't feel like if I just sit here my whole life and blame white folks, that's going to change my life. That's going to change anything in my life. It's not going to change anything. It's just going to make stuff worser. And the white liberals, see, they play in the hands of that because they know that that hurts the black community more than anything. Why tell a black person that you can become anything when you can just tell them that, hey, white folks hate them and they become nothing? Why tell black folks that, hey, you can touch the sky, you can touch the moon, you can reach and touch the highest star in the sky? When you could just sit there and tell them, hey, your biggest problem is white supremacy. When they get nowhere. You see how the left is? They want to control the minds of black people. And, hey, they have been successful. Lyndon Johnson, he did the welfare bill, dividing the black family, taking the black father out the household. And that right there destroyed the black community. The only thing the average black person knows today is, I'm oppressed. That's it. That's why I can't get nowhere. Slavery. They never talk about, you know, the family. They never talk about any self-accountability, what you can do. In the last 50 years, I blame on black people. I blame on them. They should have did better. They should have been with Obama, with Barry. They should have been like, hey, police brutality? Hey, man, you can do something about that. We need to become those solutions, bring these black families back together, make these communities safer so the police can police. They should have been bringing those arguments up with Slick Willie and Mr. Carter, but, you know, they didn't do it. And